So I want to explain to you the concept of pegging, currency pegging, and how you can actually benefit from it long term. And instead of using so many random countries, I'm going to specify with one country and then how you can be able to benefit from that concept. But what I want you to notice here is that when we talk about currency pegging, it's whereby a particular currency pair is tied to another hard currency so as to stabilize its exchange and then prevent unnecessary fluctuations between these two currencies. So this concept here, if you understand it long term, there's a way in which you can apply it and be profitable from it. Now, this information may seem like we are going beyond the charts, but it is within the capacity of the chart. So I'm going to explain it to you, and then I pick a country, and then we see how we can apply and benefit from it in the next 6 months or 1 year. So what I want you to notice or understand from this is that this concept of pegging, and I'm going to use the Ugandan shillings against the dollar. Okay, the Ugandan shillings against the dollar. So, but you need to understand this concept. This is it, like currency pegging. When you tie a particular currency to another one, we call it peg. And this is whereby you want to prevent fluctuation. You don't want the price to exceed a certain limit, and that helps to stabilize your economy. So I'm going to pick a case study, and that is Uganda. And you cannot talk about the Ugandan economy without mentioning this guy. So the Minister of Finance, you've seen him trending all this time with the remarks he has been saying about how great the economy is. Yeah, you need to understand the international play part of it and also the internal or the local play of it may be a little bit different. But if you look at the long term and the big picture, he's been doing some great work. So now I just want to show you the current rate. So this is the current rate of $1 equaling to 3,570 shillings. So if you've noticed this, the shillings is actually stronger against the dollar right now, but that has not always been the case. But the bigger picture of the fluctuation has always been between this current figure, 3,500, and all the way to a maximum of 3,900. So if you look at that range for the last 10 years or so, it has always been between that range. So right now it is at the lows, like the dollar, it is really being eaten up by the shillings. The shillings is stronger, but it usually stops around this price. And then when the dollar is strengthened, it goes all the way up to 3,900, 3,800. And it doesn't go beyond that because of the pegging I talked about earlier. Don't forget, we were talking about the currency pegging. There's a peg there whereby the Ugandan shillings is backed up by the dollar, sometimes by gold. And this makes it not to go beyond a certain limit. Okay, so now how do you apply this to be able to make money in the long term? Let me show you the Ugandan the charts. So this is the yearly charts for the Ugandan shillings against the United States dollar. If you look at this chart here, I know there's a tendency for people to think that the information we get from the chart is very limited, but trust me, every fundamental information that you are looking for is always in the charts. You just need to know how to interpret the charts and you will be able to be profitable. And I'm going to show how to be profitable long term on this. So if you look at the charts here, this is a level. This could not go below. So this is a strong support. I'm just going to use technical analysis. And then we have this area here, which is an area of resistance. Okay. So the shillings is actually bullish against the dollar right now, stronger. Remember, this was the time when the dollar was actually stronger against the shilling, but now price has reached a support an area it cannot break, and then we have that possible movement to the upside. Now, if you go to the lower time frame, you may not see much, but we're going to just stop maybe from the monthly chart. And then here, this is also another resistance. So the thing I can expect is that we could actually have this rally to this, and then possibly to the downside, depending on what happens. Now, how are you going to benefit from here? This is the best way to benefit. The best thing you can actually do right now is You get your shillings, you stack for yourself some dollars. You get as much dollars as you want. Now, when price leaves this 3,700 range and then goes all the way to 3,900 or 800, you could benefit from between 300 shillings to 400 shillings, which is going to be big money. So now, this is only for those who actually know what they're doing and then also who understand this concept here, because eventually this will fluctuate. The thing is that it's usually between a range. So the most of the details and others, I'll give them to my member guys. But this can actually work for you, and you need to see how you can apply this to your